Anna is definitely one of my most challenging roles, and I think it's because you're never quite sure whether she's supposed to be the anti-heroine or the heroine. You know, she is both guilty and innocent at the same time. And I think, you know, in rereading the book when I was just about to do the film, I'd read it ages ago when I was sort of in my late teens, early 20s, and I remember it just being this sort of sweeping romance and being very beautiful and just, you know, being taken along with it. And I suddenly read it just before we started and went, wow, this is so much darker than I remember it being, and she is so much more complex and strange and dark than I remembered as well, you know, and also you sort of end up going, does Tolstoy hate her? And is that the point? You know, do we have to have moments where we hate her as much as you have to love her and you have to understand her and you have to understand what she's going through? You know, you do also, I think you are meant to judge her and you are meant to hold her up as being morally culpable, you know. So it was quite a difficult balance to get all of those things. I think Anna's main tragedy is that she can never recognise what's in front of her. She is constantly searching for something else. She has this insatiable want that she can never satisfy. So whatever love she has, it's never enough. She doesn't recognise the love of her husband, for example. She doesn't, as soon as that initial lust and romance of the first spark of the Vronsky relationship happens, it's never enough beyond that point. She can't recognise that relationships change and that there are different forms of love. You know, she's constantly searching for something that is completely unattainable. And once she realises it's unattainable, I think that's the path to her destruction. This is our third film together, mine and Joe Wright's. We started off with Pride and Prejudice. I can't even say it. We started off with Pride and Prejudice, and then Atonement, and now Anna Karenina. And I don't know. People always sort of ask us, you know, why does it work between you? What makes it work? And I really don't know the answer to that. I think we have very similar tastes. We both work very hard. You know, he's somebody that demands everything from the people who work for him, and I really respect that, because I think if you're going to try and make anything, if it's going to be worthwhile, I think it has to be the most important thing in the world for that moment that you're making it, and he always sort of instills that belief in everybody that works with him, which I respond to very well. Yeah, but I don't know what it is between us that makes it sort of gel like it does. I think that the whole of the visual style was based, it was based on a line that he read in Orlando Figet's Natasha's Dance, which was something like, I'm going to quote it wrong, but they live their lives like they were upon the stage, or something like that, which was a reference to the Russian aristocracy of the sort of 18th and 19th century, how most of them couldn't actually even speak Russian. They spoke French or Italian. Their etiquette was French, their clothes were French, their houses were built in the French style, their food was predominantly French. Absolutely everything was to emulate the French courts, and so they literally couldn't speak to other people in their country of a lower class. And so this idea that they were constantly performing, they were constantly pretending that they were in a different country, literally, than they actually were. So this idea that performance was such a major part of the aristocracy, and therefore of Anna herself, that she was constantly pretending to be something that she wasn't, a mother, a wife, all of these different things. So I think he was thinking about that, and then decided that if he was going to do the whole thing in one place, that the most appropriate place it would be a theatre, so that every single character all the time is performing. A terrible dancer, naturally. I like jumping up and down. I really enjoy dancing, but I'm really not good. And this was so, I mean, you know, Joe was always very definite about wanting to use movement and to develop a sort of a style of movement for the whole thing. And we were really fortunate to work with a choreographer called Sidi Labi Chikuri, who is just a phenomenal talent, and really created sort of through movement and dance an intricate part of the storyline, I think. However, he had a load of actors to use for it, and none of us, apart from Aaron Johnson, who is a brilliant dancer, could quite pick it up as quickly as he wanted us to.